Hey friends, Russ here again, having more Daisy Lever gun fun. And I've got a little quiz for you. If I put this rifle in front of you here, and I give you a little bit of explanation on it, let's see, it's got the bottle cap on the front, the removable shot tube with the lightning loader on here. It's got a spot welded front band and sight assembly. Um, It's got the forearm with not a whole lot of contour swing to it, so it's the older type. As we see up here, it has not a notched rear sight and the elevation screw. Okay. Here we have the Red Ryder buttstock. It has the picture of the cowboy and the lariat that spells out Red Ryder. It's the long grain kind of wood that they use, so naturally it's got the broken top stock right above the wrist, has an aluminum lever, and, well, we see that the staple and saddle ring are missing. So if I said, what is this? At first crack, you might say, oh, well, that's a 11140, naturally. Well, you'd be wrong. Because after they stopped making the 11140, and the next iteration of the Red Riders was that Model 94, and for a while they took a sabbatical. And so what happened back in 1972, for about 6 years from then, they came on with what was called not the 1938 A or B, the Bs which we get nowadays. They came out with a straight Model 1938. In the early 70s. And if you look on here, if you can see it real well on the glare of the camera, but up here it says number 1938 Red Ryder, carbine, BB gun, Daisy, Rogers, Arkansas. That adds more credence to the fact this was built after the move. And when they moved out in 57 and began production in 58 in Rogers, Arkansas. Those 11140s were made back in Plymouth, Michigan. So there are some similarities, of course, with the 11140s, but there's a couple big things that tip us off right away that this was made at a later date. One of them is whenever they started using the higher pivot point on the cocking lever. It's a different style cocking lever. Okay, let's see if I have a couple over here to show you. Yeah, there we go. This is the modern type cocking lever here. It's aluminum. They made them in plastic as well. And this is the configuration. This is what you would find in those earlier BB guns with the lower pivot. This pivot screw would occur down here instead of up here. So that's one of the things that tips us off. Another thing is, if you'll notice, this is a real good representation of the Red Ryder logo. Okay, but what it doesn't have is what so many of the other early ones had was Fred Harmon's signature right down in here. And this one doesn't have it. It does have the logo on the left side of the stock. Nowadays, they're putting them on the right side, of course. But it is on this side. So we have the pivot point for the lever. We have no logo. And remember I said about the missing staple and saddle ring? On the earlier guns, that was a very long piece that went through the gun, through another hole in the back, and it was peened over to help retain the staple. Well, there's nowhere to put it on this one. So they used the more modern type staple in here. Okay. Also, if you look closely, the heads of all these screws are Phillips heads. A lot of the earlier guns, you say, well, I have a real early gun and it has a straight screwdriver and it's the same size bolts. Well, yeah, it may be the same size as far as shaft and thread count and so forth. But whenever you see them using all of the Phillips heads, then you know that the gun was made closer to where we are today rather than further back. Okay, friends, well, that's just a little example here, and I wanted to show you how this one did not occur in the video I did showing the different styles of Red Ryders. But this is one that, even though it was not in that video, it's something worth mentioning. Because it had a limited run and it was early on whenever they resumed the Red Ryder production, there weren't as many of these put out there as there are today. I mean, you can find an awful lot of 1938Bs, and they even made a 1938A, but this one, it does have a lot of the look of the original gun and some of the changes of the newer guns. Of course, there's no safety on this one, and it does have the rolled steel trigger. And if you, I don't know if you can see inside there, but the return spring is mounted into the buttstock. Have not torn this one down to see what the inside is going to look like. I know it shoots pretty weak, but this will be one we'll put in the Project Later file, just because it's a good piece. I want to hang on to it for a little while and see if I can improve the way it looks and the way it functions, just to say that I actually have one. All right, friends, if you get a chance, don't forget to subscribe. We'd like a thumbs up now and then. And if you have any comments about maybe a 1938 that's in your collection or something you've seen, or you want to know any of the details, hey, give us a shout out. We'll talk to you later. Have a great night and stay safe.